So if you're selling your house, should you pay the buyer's agent commission? Well, I'll tell you a little story about what just happened to me that kind of illuminates why I always recommend to my sellers that they cover that buyer agent commission. So my clients recently went to a house they liked. They were asking $300,000. We end up putting in an offer. And the counter offer that we received was actually over the asking price, $309,000. Because it turns out that in this case, the sellers were not covering a buyer agent commission. Of course, I have a representation agreement with my clients guaranteeing my fee in the event that a seller does not cover. And this is pretty standard. So, what effectively happened is by not covering the buyer agent fee, what they were doing is they were marketing a price that wasn't a true price, right? Because any reduction in a buyer agent commission is effectively a price increase, with the caveat being that you don't know about it until you submit an offer or it turns out later, and then it's frustrating, confusing. It leaves a bad taste in these buyers' mouths. And my buyers ended up walking away. They didn't want to engage in negotiations. And look, this could be different if the market norms were different. But at least as it sits, in my experience and the experience of the vast majority of my colleagues, that 95+% of homes that are on the market are still being priced and marketed like they have been traditionally for decades, where the price that is advertised is inclusive of the buyer's agent commission. And if it were different, if things were different, then it would be different. But those are the expectations when you're going and you're putting in offers on houses, and none of them are coming back trying to push that additional cost onto you as the buyer, and then all of a sudden you run into one that does. It stands out from the norm, and it's just not a great experience for buyers. But I'll close by saying, if for whatever reason that is the strategy you take with your listing agent, I would have them make sure that if they're talking to agents that are expecting to write up an offer, that is something you proactively share, so that they can share it with their buyers, so they know that it's not priced in, and so that they can, do an apples to apples comparison with other properties on the market that are covering that buyer's agent commission.